Hello and welcome to another episode of the Forgotten Places channel. Today we're going to talk about 5 of the worst located stadiums in America. Now you might be wondering what I mean by that. And what I mean is these stadiums have some sort of issue or problem or history or what have you that makes this stadium a less than an ideal place to have games. And we're going to start off here with Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. I've been by this stadium, I've went around the parking lot, and I can tell you that it isn't that ideal of a location. It's surrounded on 2 sides by freeways, and it's not really in downtown St. Petersburg, it's like just outside of downtown. So it's kind of like in a quieter area, there isn't like much going on right around it. And on top of it all, it was built on the site of a coal gasification plant. Now, obviously, they cleaned the site up before they put a stadium there, but the biggest issue with this stadium, or the biggest complaint, has been that it is over 20 miles away from Tampa, which is the more wealthier, kind of more hip place to be in the Tampa Bay area. And it's just kind of been a disappointment that they built it that far by most people. But I really don't think the attendance there would have been much different either way. I just don't think Florida is that good of a state for professional sports, especially baseball. But really, this was a missed opportunity in that, you know, there's so much coastal area in that part of Florida. They could have built something nice by the water and, you know, it might have been a lot better than what they have today, which is considered pretty much the worst ballpark in baseball. Next, we have a college stadium. Pratt and Whitney Stadium at Rentschler Field. Yes, I know, it's a very long and stupid name. But anyway, this is where the Yukon Huskies play their games. And the issue with this football stadium is that it is about 20 miles away from campus, making it the farthest stadium from the campus of the college that the team is from. So in college, you tend to keep the stadium close to campus because especially a lot of students don't have cars, and you want to make it kind of walkable. But this isn't walkable in the least. It's roughly a half an hour drive, and it's just kind of takes away from the college experience, I think, when, you know, everybody's got to basically commute to go to a football game at a college stadium. Next, we have FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland, where the Washington football team plays. Now, the big issue with this stadium is it was kind of put in more of like a suburban area, and it doesn't really have the infrastructure to, you know, support a stadium and the large crowds that it holds. And there's been many complaints over the years of traffic. The parking is very expensive. It's like between at minimum $25, but I think the regular parking is like $60 there, possibly even more, I mean, depending on the type of vehicle you're bringing. But what you see with suburban stadiums usually is you just have like one giant lot surrounding the stadium, like an ocean parking lot, kind of like the old cookie cutters. And the issue with that is people can't like peter out to far away parking lots and kind of get away from the stadium faster, or more people can't, you know, park elsewhere. It's like everybody has to park right by the stadium unless, you know, you take the train or something. So that's causing a huge traffic issue, and, you know, that hasn't changed over the years. But anyway, just a bad location, and obviously by most people's opinions, it's a bad stadium at this point, and it'll probably be gone in 10 years from now or so anyway. Next, I take you to a minor league ballpark in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, FNB Field, which is the AA affiliate of the Washington Nationals, the Harrisburg Senators. That is where they play. And the issue with this stadium was, or is, that it was built on an island in the Susquehanna River. Now, if you're built on an island in a river, typically you will have issues with flooding. And yes, they have had many issues with flooding. The stadium's flooded multiple times, games have had to been moved, and it just really makes no sense to me, like they didn't see that coming. But apparently they've gotten by with it, but I still think it's just a really bad idea to put a stadium on an island in a river, unless it's like on really high ground, but obviously it's not on high enough ground because it's flooded a bunch of times. So anyway, that's the 4th one on this list. And last but not least is Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California. Now, where do I start with this one? Well, first of all, it's about 45 minutes away from San Francisco. Now, obviously not all the San Francisco 49ers fans live in San Francisco, so this would obviously be closer for a lot of other fans that might live by it. But it's still the farthest stadium from its namesake downtown market, in NFL terms anyway. But even despite being 45 minutes away from downtown San Francisco, traffic is still a big issue here. And another issue is that it shares a parking lot with California's Great America, which is a Cedar Fair-owned amusement park that is open during the regular season for the 49ers. But on top of the distance and the traffic that this stadium has, there also is the fact that it was built very close to an airport, San Jose Airport. And because it's built in the flight path of an airport, there can't be any kind of renovations done to the stadium to try to add more shade to it, as the shading issues have been noted over the years with Levi's Stadium. While there's also talk of night games blinding pilots as they land at the airport. Now, obviously, land is at a premium in the San Francisco area, and I'm sure that had a lot to do with why they put this stadium there. But you'd think if it's going to be 45 minutes away, at least maybe there wouldn't be traffic, but there is. At least maybe you wouldn't have issues with an airport, but you do. So the airport combined with the traffic has just made for a much less than stellar stadium, especially one that cost about $1 billion. I mean, it's just been a disappointment. But there you have it. That is the 5 worst located stadiums, or 5 of the worst in America. Let me know what you think. Did I miss any, or did you think these were good choices? And as always, thank you for watching.